It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit. And I wanted to ask you this, maybe because my own personal reasons, is I was watching you on Gary Owen, on his Get Some podcast, right?
Love Gary.
And it turned into a therapy session for you.
Yeah, I don't get along with my mom, and he don't get along with his dad.
And
I
I
we were
felt
sitting
like
there trauma bonding in a comedic podcast.
And I felt a bond there because I'm like you. It sounded like that's the way I felt. Like I love my mom.
I love my mom to death.
But I don't love being around her.
I love you to death. I love you to death.
And it's one of those things. Maybe it's the appreciation though too. It's like I think you had mentioned something on there about how different kids need different love and affection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm that type of person. I tell everybody, I'm like, I need words of affirmation.
Yeah.
I need to know I'm doing a good job. Otherwise, I don't feel like I'm doing a good job.
See, the thing is, I think that I was that person, and it never came. So I just shut it off, and now I don't need it.
Have you reconciled since that podcast?
Nah.
No, not really.
I mean, I saw her for Christmas. I brought my children over. Me and my siblings, we do a big Secret Santa thing, and we did it at my mom's house or whatever. And, I said, hey. And my kids said, hey. But she texted me like a couple weeks ago trying to reconcile. I'm not in a place where I'm like, the type of person I am, right, is if I've made peace with something, I've made peace with it. Mm-hmm. People think making peace with something means that you open the door for it to happen again. And that's not what making peace with something is. Making peace with it is like it's no longer eating you up. You've forgiven. You've done everything. And you can move on with your life. I've just moved on with my life. My mom never apologized for the things I stopped talking to her for. And to me, in any type of reconciliation, it starts with the apology.
Oh, I believe so.
Yeah.
And I just, hopefully I took it the right way when I watched it. Is one, I don't think you came from a hateful way at all. It was more of a hurt thing.
Yeah.
And it was the fact that as a guy, we get shit on, I feel like, that if we ever put our mom in a bad light. And I'm like, sometimes there's just shitty moms. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that.
I told people that. I was like, look, everybody got a good mom? Everybody. Why is that a thing? Everybody has the best mom, apparently. Every person all these people with different traumas and they're going to therapy for all this stuff. Nobody had a mom that was just alright. Everybody mom was so fucking
That's
perfect.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, dang, my mom couldn't just be alright. She might have been just alright.
And I get it, man. I get it. Maybe you understand too, because you have kids, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, I've got my youngest that's turning 18 in 90 days. You know what I mean? And I say that because child custody issues and shit, right? So I'm like, woo! I made it without hurting this woman. So.
Yeah. Man.
So it's been a blessing.
Co-parenting.
But my oldest lives with me, and there's just, for me, I look at my love with my kids, and I'm just like, man, it's on a different level. Like I would be hurt more if my kids looked at me the way that I sometimes look at my mom.
That's what I'm
mean?
saying.
And
when if my children were to ever say that I said something or did something that hurt them, I would want to reconcile. I would want to have. So the fact that, and I'm not saying she don't want to or whatever, but the fact that she let as much time pass without her doing anything, I'm just not like, man, you could really. My daughter, she's 7 now, but I believe she might have been 5 at the time, right? Might have been 6. She wanted to do something for her mother for Mother's Day. But we had to leave the hotel because it was like checkout time. She was like, it's only going to take a little bit. I was like, we can just do it some other time or somewhere else. We got to go right now. My daughter didn't talk to me for like 6 months.
Because it was important to her.
Because it was important to her.
Yeah.
And when I say didn't talk to me for 6 months, like, she's still respectful. I try to, when I'm parenting, she talking, whatever. But I could tell a piece of her was not with me for 6 months.
It was just something different after that event.
And it bothered me daily. I was trying to fix it or whatever. It bothered me all the time. And I was like, dang. And that's a child. That's a child who can't convey their emotions. We're adults. You couldn't check to see if it didn't bother you. Okay. All right. Yeah. But that's just where I'm at with it. It's like, all right. Well, and that's another thing why I couldn't worry about the thing with my mom. I got my children to worry about.
Definitely. I guess I asked, like I said, because I internalized the conversation, and I was just like, it was good to hear that other people. Not to say that it was good to hear that you're going through shit, right?
Nah,
but I think you made it clear.
Sometimes you feel like you're the only one.
Yeah.
So it ain't good to hear that somebody's going through it, but it's good to hear that somebody else at least knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not the only one sitting in
the comment section. There was a lot of people who DM'd me after that and was like, man, I really appreciate you doing that, because I felt like it was just me and it made me feel bad about how I felt. And I was like, man, that's why I tell people, man, share your story. You don't know who's a lot of people do social stuff on social media and be like, man, my joint only get like 5 views. I was like, did you ever think about what those 5 people feel about your content? Maybe to those 5 people, this is the best thing I've seen, and that's the one and I need you to be here to make this, because to these 5 people, this is the greatest thing I've seen. That people don't want that. Sometimes people want fame more than understanding that what you're doing may have so much. You might be saving 5 lives.
Charlie Murphy, my main man, Ric James. That's the one you think, the comedian Ric James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. Thank you for watching.